Wait, let me turn this off. Okay. So I'm Vasant Dar. I'm a professor at NYU at the School of Business and the Center for Data Science. And I've been a professor here at NYU for over 30 years. I grew up in India, in Kashmir, which is where I'm from. Started my schooling there. Early days, I used to go to school in a horse-drawn cart. Computers were really, nowhere in the scene, even though they'd been invented and they were being used by government and large agencies to do standard sort of billing and transaction processing kind of stuff. But they really weren't anywhere close to being in our lives in any meaningful way. In fact, I just realized that the internet really sort of came into existence by the time I was almost 40. So I lived the first 4 decades of my life pretty much without the internet. So in my earliest days, we used to write programs on punched cards, where you sat at a special machine and you typed your program, line by line. Each line of the program was a card. So just writing a simple program could take weeks, right? So it was pretty painful. So my first exposure was using computers to solve equations. I remember when the first screen editor came out, where you could actually type your whole program and be able to look at it, look at the whole thing. That was a revelation. So those are the early days, and we've come a long way since then. I was fortunate enough in graduate school to hook up with some of the pioneers in AI. And I still remember my first exposure to an intelligent computer was I was watching this screen in the medical school at the University of Pittsburgh, and it was connected to a computer at Stanford. So it was just the display. And there was a physician, and the computer came back and asked him a question about some patient's blood levels, various minerals, and then asked him about urine. And the physician said, "Why?" which means, "Why you asked me the question?" And computer said, "Well, the evidence so far is consistent with the following hypotheses, and this question will help me discriminate between the top 2. And I was just watching this and saying, "Wow, computer is doing that? Like, how the hell is it doing that?" Right? And so, I want to be able to do that. And now we have a situation where machines are able to see, read, hear. We're going to see them making decisions for us more and more as we begin to trust them, right? This trend has been underway for a long time, but in very controlled kinds of environments. Right? Planes now are flown automatically by a computer. In fact, if you tell passengers that the autopilot is not working, they would probably get uncomfortable. Right? So, in fact, there's a joke that the plane of the future will have a pilot and a dog, a man and a dog, and the dog's role is to bite the human if he tries to do anything. Because the building blocks are now sort of pretty firmly in place, you can do more and more stuff with it. So yeah, we'll see computers becoming better at dealing with us. The Industrial Revolution was about us getting machines to do manual labor, like grunt work, stuff that we just couldn't do ourselves. And now we're getting machines doing more and more of the thinking stuff for us as well. And we tell them the kinds of things we're looking for, and they do the cognitive part of things as well. Right? That's what systems like Watson were intended to do, right? You ask any question and it knows how to get the information, put it together, and give you a crisp answer. We will see systems moving towards that situation where they can actually anticipate what we need, what we're really asking them, and curate the answers for us. The ability of computers to perceive the environment directly is just going to have a game-changing impact on the way we live our lives.